Shalom, shalom. This is Hawud. So, this will be the second part to it. I skipped a couple places because I want to get straight to the point. I want you to hear this because I'm gonna tell you who this is. All right, where was I? Yeah, okay. When the earth was young, this is the Coburn Bible Book of Creations, the beginning. That's the name of it. So it's in the Book of Creations, but it's called the beginning. When the earth was young, and the race of men still as children, there were fertile green pastures in the lands, where all is now sand and barren wasteland. In the midst of it was a garden land, which may lay against the edge of the earth, eastward and towards the sun rising. Sorry, and it was called Maria, meaning the place of the garden. See this? This is what I'm talking about. Listen to how this sound, and then read the Bible. You can tell. That's why it's called. And I'm gonna tell you something. All those Bibles are mimicking from that King James. That's what I unless somebody can find me a Bible before then I won't say that. But that's you got to understand that's King James version. So that's what he says happened, and that's how he want to put it. So he wrote it the way he wanted to be written. He changed the names and everything. I guarantee you, we weren't even called Judah and all that. I guarantee you, that's not our tribal names. Because how you get these indigenous tribes here called all these different names, but we still talking about these 12 tribes. See what I'm saying? And even like with this, I'm reading something that none of the words don't even sound nowhere near we're calling ourselves. So that's something we need to think about. All right. The place of the garden on the plain. It lay at the foot of a mountain, the mountain of the Most High. See that? Which was the cleft at its rising. I'm sorry, and out it flowed a river called Tardana, which watered the plain. From the mountain on the other side, the river Cal. You see that? I guarantee you, I'll read 4 rivers that come out of this garden. I guarantee you, which watered the plain through the land of Chaldean. The river Nera flowed westward and turned back to flow around the garden land. It was a fertile place, for out of the ground grew every kind of tree that was good for food, and every tree that was pleasant to the sight, every herb that could be eaten, and every herb that flowered was there. The tree of life, which was called Glassar. So the tree of life is called Glassar. That's what the tree of life is called, Glassar. Having leaves of gold and copper, was within the sacred enclosure. There too was the great tree of wisdom, bearing the fruits of knowledge, granting the choice and ability to know the true from the false. It is the same tree which came to be as men read a book. There also was the tree of trespass, beneath which grew the lotus of rapture, and in the center was the place of power, where God made his presence known. Which one make more sense? Gotta understand, all this stuff that they have, all this infinite knowledge that these heathens and these Gentiles have, they stole it from us. And they making different names for these books and stuff because they know they don't want us to know that it come from us. They're gonna lie and say it come from other people. Time passed, and the children, I'm gonna just say the Most High, the children of the Most High were grown strong and upright under the tempering hammer of the Most High and earth. The anvil of the Most High became more kindly. All was pleasant and food plentiful, but life paused in such places. For it is against nature, it was against the nature of man to flourish in these circumstances. Earth is not for pleasurable dallying, It is a place of teaching, trial, and testing. The children of the Most High were not yet the heirs of the Most High, nor inheritors of the Godhood. But there was one among them who had almost complete the pilgrimage of the I think this is in a duvdo. I think that's what it says. He had unraveled the tangled skeins of fate and traversed the tumultuous seas of life to the many ports of destiny, and having paid the debts of sowing and reaping, was one triumphant over the Induvdo. He was Fanvar, son of Amma and Atum. He was wise and knew all things. He beheld mysteries and the secret things hidden from the eyes of other men. He saw sunrise and the sun setting in the splendor, but longed for things not realizable in the place where he lived. So because he walked with the Most High, he was called out from his kind and brought to Maria, the garden place. He came to it across the mountains and wastelands, arriving after many days journeying, weary and close to death because of the provisions he suffered. He could just reach the refreshing waters from which he drank deeply and filled his exhaustion. He slept. It's filled with exhaustion. He slept. I'm sorry, y'all. In his sleep, he dreamed, and this was the manner of his dreaming. He saw before him a being of indescribable and glory and majesty, who said, I am the God above all, even above the God of your people. I am that which fulfills the aspirations of men, and I am that in which they are fulfilled. You having traversed all the circles of Indudo, I think that's what that say, and established your worthlessness, are now made my governor on earth, and you shall rule all things here, guiding them in my ways, leading them ever upwards into glory. This will be your labor, and behold, here is your reward. A cloud mist seemed to gather together, but the glorious being enfolding him, so he was no longer visible. Then the mist gradually cleared, and the man saw another form emerging. It was that of a woman, but one such as Fanvar had ever seen before, beautiful beyond his conception of beauty, with such perfection of form and grace that he was dumbfounded. Yet the vision was not substantial. She was a wrath, and what is this? Ethereal being. I don't know what that is. The man woke and sought food from the fruits about him, and having refreshed himself, wandered about the garden. Wherever he went, he saw the wrath. I think this is a wraith. I think they say wraith. I'm sorry, y'all. But was unafraid, because she smiled, encouragingly bringing comfort to his heart. He built himself a shelter and grew strong again, but always, whenever he went, the wraith was not far distant. One day, near the edge of the garden, he fell asleep in the heat of the day, and awoke and found himself surrounded by sons of Bothas, not true men, but yoslings, kinsfolk of the beasts of the forest. Before they could take his strength and wisdom, he loosed himself among them, slaying some in his range and might before The rest ran away. When it was done, he sat himself down beneath a great tree, for he was wounded, and blood gushed out of his side. And he gathered thickly beside him. He became faint, falling into a deep sleep. While he slept, a wondrous thing happened. The wraith came and lay beside him, taking blood from his wound upon herself, so that it congealed about her. Thus the spirit being became clothed in the flesh, born of congealing blood, and being sundered from his side, she rose a mortal woman. Don't that make more sense? And let me tell you something. So you see what I just read, right? Go in the Papal and read how Eve was made from the clotted blood of who they call Adam. It wasn't from a bone. It was from the clotted blood of Adam. And look what I'm reading. In his heart, see, this is the thing. I'm sorry, y'all. This is the thing. If you read all the scriptures in Torah, the Most High tell you the life is in the blood, right? He say that the life is in the blood. So where is the life in the bone? This is what I'm telling y'all. They took and they changed everything. They don't want you to know the truth, so they're gonna change everything up. That's why they drink blood. The life is in the blood. That's why they kidnapping these children, doing what they doing to them, and drinking their blood. In his heart, Fanvera was not at rest because of her likenessness, but she was gentle, ministering to him with what is this? I don't know that word. And being skillful in the ways of healing, she made him whole. Therefore, when he had grown strong again, he made her queen of the garden land, and she was so called even by our fathers, who named her Gila. I'm sorry, y'all. And Fanvar called her Aria, meaning help me. Huh. Help me. You hear this? In our tongue, she called the lady of, what is this? Linvi. Sorry, y'all. Now God enlightened Fanvar concerning the woman, saying, this woman was drawn from her capable abode in a realm of beauty through the yawning explorations of men. Her coming accomplishes something which would otherwise have taken countless generations. For earth is more fitting for men to learn manly things than for women to learn womanly things. This woman is not as other women, being in no way like yourself. Every hair on her head is unlike that of a man. Every drop of blood and every particle of her flesh is that of a woman, and quite unlike that of a man. So every man is trying to be a woman. You need to listen. You are nothing like women. Nothing. So stop trying to be one. And vice versa. All right, where was I at? All right, flesh. Okay. Her thoughts and desires are different. That's true, right? Because I can't understand nothing a woman be saying most of the time. She is neither coarse nor uncouth, being altogether of another more refined realm. Yeah, women are totally different than us. That's why they say men are from Mars, women from Venus. Her daughters will walk proudly, endowed with every womanly perfection and grace, delicacy, modesty, and charm will be the lovely jewels enhancing their womanness. Henceforth, men will be truly men, and woman will be truly woman. Men being girded with manliness, and woman clothed with the womanliness. Yet, they shall walk together, hand in hand, towards the ascending glory before them, each the helpmate and inspiring of the other. So Fanvar and Arya lived in the contentment of amid bounty and fruitfulness, with freedom from afflictions and sickness. They delighted in each other, and because of their differences, were they were drawn closer together. Arya brought but one thing with her when she crossed the misty frontier: the treasure of Lanvid, the jewel contained in the moon chalice, the stone of inspiration fastened by the desires of men, never owned by any never owned by any but the daughters of Arya. This the Lingal Arya gave to Fanvar as her dowry and her pledge of purity and exclusiveness. She followed the ways of the cradle land, not the ways of the earth. Within the garden land was the sacred enclosure, the domain of Fanvar and Arya, forbidden to those of the children of God who had now come to this place. It contained the chalice of fulfillment, granting any who drank from it re, revitalization of all things to which they aspired. None might drink from this save Fanvar and Arya. Also, there was the cauldron of immortality containing the essence distilled from the fruits growing in the garden, and this guarded against mortal ills. Arya brought forth a son by Fanvar, and he called Raktuki, and a daughter who was called Armina, which knew the mysteries of magic and the ways of the stars. I thought we ain't do magic. I thought magic was a sin. I'm telling y'all, they twist that Bible up. They twist everything up so we can follow their ways and not the Creator's ways. I'm telling y'all. In the fullness of time, Ratuki married among the daughters of the sons of God and had two sons. Oh man, I can't say this name. I think it's Inaneri and Ninduka. It was Inaneri who first taught the weaving of cloth and plants. The weaving, I said waving, wow. The weaving of cloth and plants, and Ninduka was the mighty hunter. Armina also married among the sons of God and brought forth a son who was called Belunki. The daughters called Ananu and Manita, and Ananu knew the making of pots and things of clay, and Menuta the taming of beasts and birds. This creation story sounds totally different. So you got the sons of the Creator, and then you have this woman that was brought from another land. It sounds like, and she was like a I guess like a specter or something. I guess that's how you could put it. I guess you would call it a ghost. All right, I'm gonna read this last little piece, and then y'all let me know what y'all think. Maybe I'll read a little bit more. I don't know. Naduka had two sons, Namtara and Canaan. Namtara had two sons also, Naduka and Dadam. Sorry. Before dying in the fullness of manhood, Balinki married Induva and had sons called Imkadu and a daughter called Estartha, meaning maid of the morning. She became the great teacher among the children of God. This was the Estartha who became the first moon maiden, being later called the Lady of the Morning Star. Ain't that some, excuse my French. Induku had a daughter, and her name was Maniva. Outside the sacred enclosure known as Geshar, but forming a gateway into it, was a circular structure of stone called Gilgal. And within this was a shrine wherein was kept a sacred vessel called Gwen, Gwenuva. This was like a goblet and was made of rainbow-hued crystal, set in gold with pearls. Above the cup appeared a shimmering moon-colored mist like a thin cold flame. At certain times, when the heavens were in a proper position, the Gwenuva was filled with the moon dew and potions from the cauldron within the sacred enclosure, making a pale honey-colored liquor. And this the people drank from the goblet. However, however, there were different proportions in the vessels for those of the blood of Fanvar and Arya, and those who were the children of God, but not of their blood. It was the portion from the Ganuva which kept sickness and disease away from those who drank it. Dadam, the first father, married Lithia. And they had a son called Harthru. Dadam then married Maneva, who had a daughter not by him, and this was Waneva, and Waneva, the Kaku child, fathered by Abraneb, and wait a minute, Abrameled, and Garthrin, the son of Namtimgo. Oh man, these names is crazy. Whom we call Lewid, the Dark Father. About the land of the children of God was the wasteland where Yoslings called the children of Zamat, which means they who inherit death, dwelt. Amongst these, Nemtimgu, the wily hunter, was the most wise and cunning. He alone was unafraid of the children of God, and he alone dared enter the garden land. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna stop from there. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to continue this one, but this one was getting crazy. Let me know what y'all think, but that sounds like the Adam and Eve story. It really do, and it actually explains how Cain left and found the wife. It kind of explains that, because I don't understand how Cain went somewhere and they were the only people on earth, and all of a sudden he found the wife and built the city. How you gonna build a city with you and just somebody that only supposed to be there? Because it was only you and your brother. You see what I'm saying? It's just extra. You know what I mean? This right here makes more sense to me. I'm sorry. It does. Alright, y'all. Shalom.